Alright, this is a good one. Dear Neve, I'm in an online relationship with the greatest guy ever.
Catfish, the TV show. When it comes down to it, when they finally meet that person and they see them in real life and they see that they look different than they were online, I think that online safety is something that should people talk about enforcing, and they say that they have these rules, but then when it comes down to it, they kind of forget about it.
I love the idea of social media with responsibility. I don't think we have any choice. It's here, it's widespread, it is used for good and bad. It's how you teach people to be responsible with it.
So what is catfishing? The term catfishing is defined as a person who sets up a false personal profile as a social networking site for fraudulent and deceptive purposes. Most people have heard of catfishing from the MTV show Catfish by Nev Shulman, and also the 2010 documentary Catfish. So what are the types of catfishes out there? The types of catfishes out there are online role-playing, online dating, and notion of deceptive messages. These are people who are wanting to be self-exploratory, such as changing genders. There's a scenario of catfishing that is insecure and wants to become a better person. There is celebrity catfishing, where it's someone who wants to be and impersonate someone to catch fans and be popular. Lastly, there are revenge catfishers. These are the worst because these people set up profiles to damage the reputations of their exes.
There are people like that who either want to manipulate other people or who are scared to be themselves and use the medium of the technology to present themselves in a different way. But I do know that the amount of people who just even lie or give inappropriate or false information on dating sites and other sorts of hookup sites and all those kind of things is pretty high. So I would think that the catfishing phenomenon would be pretty somewhat common as well.
Manti Te'o. The catfishing phenomenon came to light in January of 2013 with the story of Manti Te'o, who is a Notre Dame football player. Te'o achieved 12 tackles against Michigan State a few days after the tragic death of his grandmother and his girlfriend within the same 24 hours. In the case of Manti Te'o, there are some that believe that he was in on the catfishing scheme to enhance his career. Others believe that he was truly duped by a catfishing man who needed to explore his sexuality.
You either have the people who are mean, who get on it just to make fun of others, or you have the people who need that online support because they don't feel comfortable doing it face-to-face and create a separate identity. So, like I said earlier, it doesn't surprise me that it's there, and I think for those two reasons. You have the mean people, so it doesn't surprise me at all that they're mean people, but it also doesn't surprise me that technology allows you to develop an identity that's not you, but it allows you to be accepted by others, and I think for that reason, catfishing might work for some of those people.
Before gosh, I was a catfish. It wasn't even phrased that. It was the summer between 8th grade. I just graduated 8th grade and freshman year of high school, and I didn't really have any friends. I was kind of really nerdy. So I went on a chat room with my friends from 8th grade that they would go on. And as soon as I went on there, it was just all these guys who kept coming up to me and saying, "Hey girl, you come on here often?" And being as I was young, I was gay, no one really knew about it. I didn't want to deal with that, so my friends told me, just pretend to be a boy on there. When you do that, people don't really come up to you. You just talk to them and play the games they have on there. And so I did that. While talking with people I had already become friends with on there, I met Marie. And she's a girl who just we hit it off right away. We had a lot of stuff in common. I added her on my fake MySpace. And then we exchanged phone numbers because I actually really started to like her. And it escalated from that. Because I know it was kind of we were really dating a long distance relationship. I just didn't see how to. I was so afraid I was gonna lose Marie because obviously she was straight and I was a girl and it just couldn't work out.
I found out I was being catfished quite a while after I had been talking to John. We've been talking probably about a year. And one day I got a text saying, "John's not a boy, he's a girl. Her name's Rachel." And I was furious. I told her I never wanted to talk to her again. Thinking back on it, there were little things that would happen that kind of made me suspicious. Like, the last names would change. And I'd be like, why'd you lie about that? And he would say, he was scared, he didn't want everyone knowing his full name, and I just blew it off, didn't think much of it. I think people catfish because they're not comfortable being themselves. I think a lot of LGBT people catfish, maybe either because they're not comfortable with their sexuality or people around them are not accepting.
The next day, Marie messaged me that she still wanted to talk because she loved me, no matter if I was a boy or a girl.
I felt like I said, I just couldn't lose this person, regardless of what gender they were.
Again, it depends on the motives of the people. One of the things we try to avoid is cookie cutter work, saying everybody does things for the same reasons. But when you get the story of what people are doing, there seems to be certain patterns. There's a pattern where maybe on the simplistic side, you have somebody who is socially anxious, who feels that they will be rejected, who hides behind this personality and isn't necessarily doing the deception to be evil. They're doing the deception because they've been hurt or there's some kind of disorder. Then you have somebody on the other extreme who may be a predator for some reason and is doing this out of kind of a sociopathic or antisocial tendency where they blame the victim for being stupid. And what I've seen with some of these catfishing things is it's not just about love and attention. It can be a request for money, for funds, to meet people alone. So you see the gamut. So you can't go every person who's catfishing is doing it because they're scared or every person is evil. It is really based on their motivation.
In my catfish relationship, I definitely had hunches that it was fake because he kept sending me like, oh, this isn't really me, this is me. And then I'm like, wait, wasn't this one you? And they're like, no. And then, you know, it was a girl, so I had a high voice. I think that people that catfish aren't like secure in their own being, that they try to be something that they're not. But everybody has their own issues and things that they have to work through to figure out who they are. And catfishing does suck, but it does happen. The way that my catfish experience changed me is that I'm more like skeptical of the people I meet online. Like, they have to have a profile picture, they have to be able to Snapchat me, they have to be able to Skype me and talk to me on the phone. I mean, but I did meet my last boyfriend on a website called Hot or Not, and he was real, so that lasted a while.
Things started leading up to I was feeling like I was being catfished, so when I was watching that TV show on MTV, like I contacted them, and when they contacted him, he got really mad and wouldn't do anything, so I just pushed the issue. I just learned some of the things that they were doing on there and did it myself. I don't think that these people on the other end realize what they're doing to the person that they're making fall for them. Like, it really destroys a lot of people, and I don't think they realize that kind of stuff.
The internet has a lot of opportunity for people to manipulate. I also think that the internet provides some people an outlet, you know, like I said, a way to develop into someone that they're not, to give them a confidence they don't have and to help them develop self-esteem that they might not have. So I think that for as long as the internet's around, we're going to continue seeing things like catfishing and people making up fake online identities for dating and for other reasons. And so I don't really know if there's a way to make it not happen, but I think it's going to keep happening.
I think that when you strip away people's defense mechanisms, this could be a serious problem for the person committing the catfish. Like, we call one the catfisher and one the victim. And I guess what I would like to say is I see both people as victims. Because once you're outed, especially in national television, and you're rejected in that way, that's a real concern for me. Because you have to remember, as Danny said, they were scared to begin with.
Of course, what they're doing isn't okay, but I mean, like, there's a reason why they're doing it. So, like, there should be stuff for them, like any other, you know, crime. There should be like repercussions, but in the same sense, you should also take care of the person.
Yeah, that would be the thing I would say. I don't like calling one the catfish and one the victim. I think that in both ways, people are vulnerable.